Three, two, one. There we are. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, good grief. Hello, my name is Michelle Moraz.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the proverbial porch because it's cold outside.
Yes, it is. That's just not right. I didn't even think about the weather. It's so beautiful and sunny for you to look out the window.
Inside the house, weather outside is lovely.
Outside is frightful.
It is frightful.
So what are we talking about
today? We're talking
besides the weather.
We're talking about blinded by the light, ripped up like a douche. You know the rumor in the night.
That's the wrong one.
What are we singing?
She blinded me.
Oh, she blinded me with science. Okay, that's it. Now, what brought this topic on?
I don't know. It was your idea, sort of.
Well, it's sort of. Yeah,
I took it another direction.
Well, it's all over the place because I've been traveling a lot the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah, something like that.
And science has been over-consuming my life. And then I've been talking to my sisters because I got to hang out with them for the past couple of days when I arrived in Denver. And more science has come through. And you're like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm just listening to you.
I'll say,
they're listening to you.
My first thought was, I landed in Denver. I get on the train and I text my sister and she says, I won't make it there. I'm in line. And I said, I thought you were going to get me. She says, I'm in line to see Jason Momoa. He's got a new vodka coming out. And I went, okay, so where are you? I'll come meet you. Use the app technology to get Uber to come get me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I exit on the East Terminal. It's supposed to be a GPS to Uber to come to me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Technology failed me.
Oh, really?
The GPS doesn't show that I'm on the second floor. The person came to the floor under me. So the driver came and it shows them driving up right towards me, to me.
Right.
And they weren't there. I said, the app shows you with me, but you're not here. And she writes back, what floor are you on? GPS is seeing from the top.
Uh-huh.
So I said, go back around. I'm in arrivals, not departures. So she drives completely around. And if you've ever been to the Denver International Airport,
it's huge.
It's ginormous. And 2, you take one wrong turn and you're going to loop again. She went all the way around and went right back to the same place. Again, not where I am.
Right.
Technology failed us. So she kept coming to the right place, sort of.
To the right coordinates. Because it's a coordinate thing.
But not to me. And then I finally get a ride and I get to the place where my sisters are waiting in line to see Jason Momoa. And I get straight to them and they're like, oh.
Now, wait a minute. Your sisters didn't come pick you up from the airport?
You could not leave that line.
Which tells me that Jason Momoa was more important than their sister.
No. That line was huge. It was huge. And my thing
is, who cares about Jason Momoa anyway?
If you left that line to get me when I can take an Uber ride or something, no, we were in a good spot in that line. I'm glad they didn't lose it. But it was just really cool to be where technology fails us, but then helps us at the same time. It's like this love-hate relationship with technology.
Oh, I remember way back in the day, before technology really ruled our lives. I mean, everything is on our cell phones these days. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You can do it. There's an app for that, as they say. But I remember putting stuff in databases and doing those kind of things. And I'm like, it takes me more time to type this into a database than it does to write it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, but the research and being able to find it is nice.
Yeah, but it's so monotonous. I don't know if any of you out there ever put data into a database. It's monotonous. You've really got to have a personality for that. I mean, you got to be a structured individual. You got to be somebody that really doesn't care about what's going on in the world, because you got to focus on what you're doing so that it's right. Data input is not fun.
Well, he saw my husband has a spreadsheet on everything about Michelle, and he asked for the spreadsheet, like, how many TV shows or whatever you've been on with ABC, NBC, CBS, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't know. Look at the spreadsheet. And he has, where's the spreadsheet? I said, I don't know. My husband has it. So my husband sends him the spreadsheet. He has a spreadsheet. He's got everything on you.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. And if they do, you just don't know about it. But it was nice to have the data there for what books you've done, what movies you've been in, all of this stuff. Because that's something that if you were to sit down and try and make that list today, it would take you days because you'd have to remember what came from what.
He knows every podcast,
But
every radio show, everything.
right. But what really amazed me is when I got deeper into it, it had all of your surgeries, it had all of your personal stuff that I'm like, holy crap.
Well, you need that kind of stuff because when I go in for another surgery, they say, how many surgeries have you had? When did you have them? What medication were you on? He has it on the spreadsheet. So he just does here.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's cool. But I never thought about putting a spreadsheet together on my wife.
I'm kind of active.
I mean, yeah, Julie's been through a lot of stuff, but I never thought of putting it into a spreadsheet. So in one way, I thought it was phenomenal. The other way, I thought it was kind of weird.
No, my husband's detail oriented and he knows dates, times, everything. And so he's during COVID, when the rest of us were like, oh my God, we're all alone. He went, I'm going to track everything you've ever done so we never have to worry about it again.
Oh, so he hasn't actually been keeping it that long.
Oh,
see, I thought he started it, it's basically a journal. I mean, you could, in fact, while I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, you could write a book about Michelle just from all the crap that's in here.
It's the beginning of a movie, by the way.
I can see that. Mm-hmm. I really can.
Mm-hmm. So, well, anyway,
but anyhow,
back
more
to blinded me with science.
So science and technology. I keep seeing these memes about you go into a big retail store and you have to check out your own groceries and you have to check out your own clothes or whatever you're buying. Are they going to pay me to be a customer service representative or a cashier?
You pay them for that.
But I think it's a good question though, because now it's relied on us. We have, and then of course Colorado, they don't give you bags anymore. So you got to remember to take the bags out of your car. So you go inside. I don't know if that saves anything or not, but it's just, it's crazy. All for the love of science.
Well, I think it's funny. It's because
and environment.
You check yourself out, but you pay higher prices to pay for the computers that have you check yourself out.
Oh, I'm sure that's worked in there too, but hell, that's hidden in inflation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you do know what this whole topic came about, right? How it came about?
No, I recall you were talking about the interviews and stuff.
Well, we talk about business casual, right? Pearls of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And in every episode, we always talk about how whatever our topic is works in your business and how does it apply in your personal life. And I was talking earlier about interviews. How many of you have been to an interview lately?
Well, hopefully most of the people on here have not.
Because a lot of them are.
Because most of them are all introvert.
Entrepreneurs.
I was going to say introverts. Entrepreneurs. It's a big word of the day.
And small business owners. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
But are you one of those companies that do personal one-on-one interviews? Or do you have a computer do your interview for you?
I think it's crazy, personally. I mean, we've gotten to the point now where there is no personal interactions. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to know how to get to somebody's house back in the day, you called them, you wrote the stuff down, and then you drove to their house. Nowadays, you say, okay, what's your address? You plug it into GPS and technology takes you there. You don't even need to converse. You just send a text message what you're at and move on from there.
They're doing it now for interviews too.
Now the interview stuff is just
so. Just think back
crazy.
In the day when you got your first job, and they would say, "Tell us your biggest fault." I hated that question, and so my thing was,
"What do you love about our company?"
What do you love about our company? But nowadays, it's a computer that is generally asking for everybody. So it asks general questions, and it'll say, "What is your biggest fault? Tell us in 3 minutes." Counting. Beep, 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 beep. Talk. It's like, oh! Imagine all those standardized tests you took in high school. If it did that, I would have lost my mind.
Maybe they need to mix it and put a robot behind the desk.
Why don't they just put a human in front of and behind the desk?
Well, I think we should put human. I don't think we should get rid of personal interaction, and that was kind of where I was going with it. But
Well, and that's what I was thinking, still do the interview, still do the general questions, but put a human in front of them instead of a computer screen. That way you see how they work with other humans. Because basically what we're doing right now with all this computerized interviewing is we're programming AI to do all of it, including the person being interviewed.
Well, the other thing is, I don't think I could be on the backside of the desk, be the person who's doing the. How do I say this? I don't know if I could be the person who's hiring, relying on virtual information from a human being. I don't know if I could do that because I would feel like there's something missing.
You wouldn't be able to do it because you wouldn't be able to answer Brian wouldn't be able to ask the one question. He would say, "What's your biggest fault?" And as the person starts answering, he'd do, "But if it was a Wednesday and you had coffee, how would you feel?" I mean, that's how it would happen with a normal human, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And see, that's the part that we're lacking in this new process. So if you're out there, you have your business and you are interviewing people, I encourage you, meet the people, because what makes a business isn't the automation of the business, it's the interaction of the humans in the business. How many times do you go to a store? You don't go to the store because it's got a great checkout system. It's the people you see. It's like going to, I was just at Blush and Blue last night. If I went to Blush and Blue,
great place, by the way,
is a phenomenal place in Denver. If you go to, let's say, a bar, you don't go to the bar just to order a drink and never speak to anyone. Sometimes we do. Okay, I could do that. But if let's say the DJ wasn't there and it was just a jukebox.
Or the bartender.
Or the bartender was just push a button and it brought you a drink.
Because you do know that they have those now.
I know.
Where you just walk up and you put your debit credit card in and it pours you a drink.
Yes. My thought is, those of us who do go to bars and we do dance and we do want to do those kind of things, we do it not because we can get to whatever we want. It's because of the people that are there with us. It's the same thing with your job. People don't stay in jobs because it's very systematic. No, we stay in jobs because we like the people we work with half the time.
Kind of like networking groups.
Yeah.
We don't stay there because we're making money. We stay there because we like the people we're hanging with.
So think about that.
Like-minded.
As we allow more and more technology to take over, those things are programmed to learn from us. So whenever we're interviewing on a computer like that, that computer system, that AI is starting to memorize his personality, my personality, the next person's personality. And then they say, I want this kind of person with this kind of trait. AI creates that person, and that AI can do the job of 5 people now.
Well, it started out, if you look, remember when we used to give paper resumes?
Yes.
And everybody that was actually reading those resumes, trying to hire somebody, there were keys that we learned.
Keywords.
Whether it was keywords for somebody we were looking for, or even if somebody didn't put proper grammar on their resume, that was an instant out because you didn't take the time to do what you needed to do. Then they turned around and they said, okay, well, let's all scan them. We'll scan them into the system. And there's all those nice little websites out there now that, they'll take your resume, but when you put it in, it scans them. And what it does is it takes and it puts keywords.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you're going through thousands of resumes, that might be helpful. But if you're trying to hire for your local grocery store,
bring them in.
It's like, why? I don't get it.
When I was an administrative assistant at a place out in another city, I can't say it all, but anyways, one of my first parts of my job was when someone came in to interview, is with how they walked in. I had to watch this kind of stuff. How they walked in and the paper they put their resume on. It showed their attention to detail and how they interacted with the people as they were walking in and how they treated me as the assistant. And the boss, when I would bring her the resume, she would say, how did they treat you? And I do, complete jerk. Rip, toss. I mean, and that's how we narrowed people. How did they react to the people as they walked in?
Well, I think people still do it. I think bosses still do it where if
unless they're a
they like, if it gets down to the last 3 people or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, then they have dinner with them and they bring the employer brings their spouse,
Mhm.
because the spouse has always got a different perception or reflection of what that new hire looks like.
Yeah.
So they trust in somebody else to make the judgment call because maybe they missed it. Those are personal interactions. Now, some of you might think that it's favorable, some of you might not think that it's favorable. It might be to do technology as more not subjective but objective. But I mean, I know there's goods and there's bads on all of it, but a complete 100% digital interaction with a Zoom call, I can't see it. I mean, if you're doing a Zoom call person to person, okay, because of distance, because of convenience, I can see that.
I do a lot of that.
But to go on an application and go, okay, what's your favorite thing about our company? Beep, bleep, bleep.
Beep.
Just give me an answer. What? Yeah.
Well, let's
Too
shift.
complicated.
Let's shift to
Too
because we're already
complex.
halfway through, so we need to shift to personal.
Well, that is in a way that is personal.
No, personal life.
What do you mean? What are you thinking?
How we always shift. We always go from business to our
I know, but what are you
relationships.
thinking for personal relationships and technology?
Oh, I'm
I mean,
thinking.
FaceTime does not
No, I'm thinking.
I mean, FaceTime doesn't substitute for, going to a family reunion.
Well, that's where I'm going. A lot of dating nowadays.
Oh, dating.
Oh,
I haven't done that in a while. It's not top of
you.
mind.
Our children, our adult children, will say, "I'm dating so and so." Okay, who's so and so? Oh, they live in Indonesia. Huh? I've been dating that person for 3 years. What? I mean, that's not dating. But to them, in this digital world, we're talking digitally, therefore we are dating.
Well, my first question would have to be, what happens if you were to actually put the two together
That's where I'm going.
in the real world?
Because digital typing and digital talking, you could be anything. I mean, like right now, he has the camera low. I could be wearing pajama pants and flip-flops, fluffy slippers.
You have sandals on and it's a cold day.
I know, but if the camera was higher, and most people nowadays have their phone and like, oh, I miss you so much, and they look great from here to here, right?
Well, I'm thinking text messages. How many times do you go to text somebody, whether it's instant messenger or whatever, but you type something in and then you go back and go, ooh, that's going to sound bad. Backspace. So that person is not, whoever you're talking to is not getting the real you.
Mhm.
Because when we talk and just talk impromptu, we always say what we're thinking try to. There are exceptions to that rule.
He's
but
backspacing right now.
Yes, I am backspacing. That is exactly it. Because, sometimes we say something and then we go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well, I've said that. I've done that in early forms of Facebook. I would write something and I would put up a picture and I would write ha 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 or whatever. And I had people get mad at the ha 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 because they read my message one way and the ha 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 was a insult.
Interesting. I've never run across that one.
Oh yeah, I'll have to find it though. That person ripped me a new one.
You still have it somewhere?
I probably took a screenshot because I thought that person was coming after me.
Oh,
But
wow.
anyways, in relationships and in business, we have to remember where technology is our friend and when it's our foe. And in personal relationships, there's so many things that can go wrong in a text message that really would cause a lot of problems in a relationship. So if you're in a relationship and you're in an argument, do not text. Because whatever emotional state a person is in is how they read the text or the message or the email. And that's why way back when email first started, they said, before you send that email, sleep on it and read it again before you hit send. It's because whatever emotional state the other person's in is how you are actually speaking.
Well, I also...
You're supposed to say, yeah, but.
Well, there is no yeah, but, because it's exactly right. However, but. When you put stuff into The one that you brought up, fighting, that's where I was going.
Mhm.
When it comes to fighting over text or email or whatever, it's almost like those commercials we keep saying, I said this. Well, no, you didn't. I said this. I know you didn't. Let's see the replay. So now on a text message or an email, the replay is always there.
Oh, what did
And
I
it's
told?
like,
was
that's not
telling-
what I meant to
I
say.
was telling Brian something that happened to me pretty recently. I wrote something, and the other person wrote back, and I said, "Hey, I'm out. I'm going to the mountains. Out."
I'm out.
And
Yes.
I turned off my phone. Well, the other person read, "I'm out."
Of the
Out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I never want to speak to you ever again. And when I turned off my phone, I had messages on Facebook, on Instagram, on my other Facebook page, on text message, on email. Doing, what did I do?
3 days later.
How did I upset you? I'm so sorry. Please talk to me again. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I just said I'm out.
Yeah, you didn't say I'm shutting off my phone. I'm done.
Yes. So be careful on how you word things, because some people are in different states, and yeah, don't argue on text.
Text or email, and especially if it's the boss, never.
Just pick up the dang phone.
Well, pick up the phone, knock on their office door, call your sister.
Call your sister, damn it. Okay, can I say that on? Yeah, I can.
It's our
It's our
thing.
podcast.
Yeah, I've only actually had to put one thing on YouTube and have to turn around and check that profanity one.
I know which episode
Yeah,
that
it
was.
was just recently.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that bad,
Yeah, but
but
you never
it
know.
still calls for the check mark.
So, bottom line, blinded me with science, right?
Well, if I'm trying to remember what the song was about itself, but science technology, it just takes over our lives and it rules our lives. And what are you going to do without it nowadays?
It's who we are now.
Because if you're the one of these guys that are people that don't like technology, you don't like Facebook, you don't like any kind of social media at all. In fact, that reminds me that there was an individual that you met this past weekend who said they don't like social media, but I was stalking him.
Looking to stalk him.
You're looking to try and stalking, which is probably why he doesn't like it. But there was no footprint on anything. I didn't even Google the guy. There was no LinkedIn, there was no Facebook, there was no social media at all that popped up with this individual. That makes him suspicious.
Well,
that doesn't make him smart
in this world.
Today's world, it makes him suspicious because why doesn't he have an account? Even if the account's old, you at least know he's made an attempt at it.
Well,
but there wasn't even an old account.
And see, that also happens in the world of business now. If you don't have a way for them to look into your life, they don't want to hire you because they don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
So my suggestion,
which is the other thing too, is when you put your social media together, you try and keep your opinions out of it. If you're trying to be overly political, it doesn't matter which side you're on or where you stand or what you believe in or whatever. No matter what you put out there, somebody's not going to like. So why put it out there? I mean, the old days, the rule was you didn't talk religion and you didn't talk politics.
Keep that rule.
And it's a really good rule. But nowadays, you don't talk religion, you don't talk politics, and you don't talk opinions.
And you don't talk money.
Or money. Mm-hmm. Yes. So because everybody can put something down, there's always going to be a fight with no matter what you put down, even though you think that the comment that you're going to make is going to shut that other person up or send them on another track. No, it's never going to work because somebody's always going to have a unique opinion based on their perception of everything.
Oh, even if you put, I had an acquaintance who put up a picture and he did not agree with the picture, but in the description, he went, wow, why would anyone put this? This really offended me, blah, 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 blah. They cut everything he said about the picture and kept only his name with the picture and used it against him.
Yeah. Well, it was like we were talking, I think it was you and I, we were talking about pictures that if you're doing like professional shots or something like that, and you take a picture, somebody can take that picture and maybe if you're standing there like this, somebody can put something in your hand that's not appropriate just from Photoshop.
Yeah, when we were doing my album cover for my music album, that's coming out. Shameless plug.
You said it this time, I didn't.
Yes, shameless plug. Go to my website, michellemoras.com. This man designed the cover. Simone Vision is the one who took the picture, but he's the one who designed the cover. And
the back.
And the back.
And the back cover.
We were looking at all the pictures, and they went, don't use that picture. I'm like, but I really like that picture. They do know, because someone can easily digitize something into your hand.
Yeah, because she was standing there like with her hand on her hip or something like this, and it was...
Yeah, I was doing something.
Like, I mean, it was a great picture, however.
But we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. But we're in the world where, in a digital world, where anything can be manipulated.
Possible.
And one of the things that he told me early on was never wear green on screen, because they can take the green and put anything on me. So I'm like, wow, really? I look really good in green.
Well, yes, green screen, blue screen.
Yeah, so you got to...
Black is always best, because black can't be... It can be deleted, but it can't be manipulated.
But blinded me with science. We're in the world now where you actually have to think what could happen, A, B, C, D, E, F through Z, and a couple other new letters that we might have to invent afterwards, because science has gotten so fast that it can do almost anything.
But I have to ask, what about what we're doing right now? Oh, we're looking at a camera. Mm-hmm. This is all technology. Mm-hmm. So it can be used to our... I mean, we think about all the negative things that can happen to it. What about the positive things? We can reach across the world and see what's going on now. I mean, just look at the news today. I mean, look at what's going on over in the Arab nations and all that other kind of stuff. Think about it. Even on our day growing up, only thing that you had was the newspapers and the news.
And we were always a week later.
Oh, well, sometimes it was a couple of days, but at least as far as I remember. But
I was in the Philippines. It was a week later.
You know, even if you go back farther than that, and you go back into our parents or our grandparents, when World War II was going on, yeah, it was a week before they produced whatever they filmed, black and white film they shot, and then they released it in a movie theater. Mm-hmm. Okay, and yeah, I know there's all kinds of technicals and ways that happen, but now we're to the point where it's like instant. I mean, it's live. It's right there. I mean, even in during Desert Storm and that, one of the things that CNN did was they were on the beaches with the camera live going, look at this guy. He's crawling up the beach and about ready to attack.
And they do. I'm like, exactly what where they
are they doing that for? I mean, it took the element of... It could have, if it didn't. It could have taken the element of surprise about any mission that was out there.
But
because it's like that.
Basically, technology is our friend and our foe. And you have to use it wisely and understand that whatever you put out stays out.
Which everything has got... I mean, we talked about this before. Everything's got its positives and its negatives.
Of course.
But every action has a reaction.
And that's what we talk about here.
You know, it's just... when I think about that, I think about the fact that, we've got these great windmills now, these giant things that help us, our technology, and they produce and save the world and the environment and all this other kind of stuff. But they haven't thought about how do they get rid of them when they're broke, because it's fiberglass, and fiberglass doesn't go back into the earth.
Or what we talked about with technology.
Doesn't recycle.
I'm going to say the name. No, I won't say it.
Say the name.
Really, really nice cars that people are really excited about because they're really high end and they're electric. And what they didn't consider is in incredibly cold weather, the batteries don't work. Or in the case right now, the car broke and there's only one place in the area that will fix that car.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so positive and negative.
We'll see how many of those we see alongside the road when the temperature gets down to like -28.
Yeah, well, we're in Colorado, so it does get cold, and the batteries don't like to work in cold. So you have to look at the pros and cons of everything you do and everything you say. And even with our podcast, someone could take a little piece of what he said and what I said, put it together and say, look what they said. It's horrible. And we have to understand that that's a chance.
Which is why I don't like video. You know that, right?
Why?
I've gotten used to it, but I used to hate video.
Why?
Because it was permanent record of something I actually said that I didn't mean what I said.
Or your hair.
Or my hair looks like crap right now. I will have a haircut next week.
And I'm all wrinkled.
Oh, actually, next week we won't be here to do a haircut.
No, we'll be in Dubai.
I will have a haircut next week, but we won't be on next week.
But no, yeah, because like I look like a bum right now. But I'm in bum mode because
you're on the porch.
I'm on the porch, and I just got home from travel. Oh, that's why I wanted to talk about technology. Have you been to Vegas lately?
Mm-mm.
I was in Vegas. I've always gone to the new side of Vegas, and I went to Fremont Street this time. Technology is amazing. The entire street is lit up, and the whole up part of it is nothing but a giant LED screen playing videos and advertising what's going on. But it's always noon. It's always that bright. So what I found about myself is as long as the lights stay on, I stay on.
Oh yeah. Why do you think they call it the city that never sleeps?
I did not get tired there because the sun was always up, and my brain didn't realize that I had been out there from 6 o'clock at night to 4 a.m, and I'm still like ready to go. And my friends were like, Michelle, you do know it's 4 a.m, which means it's like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning for you. I do. It is. Technology, friend or foe. I'm surprised I'm still sitting up straight. I should be very tired.
It's mental environment.
Yeah, mental environment, but it's cozy down here in this warm room, so I might be falling asleep. Anyways,
So anyhow,
we've talked too much today.
we've talked about a lot, actually.
We did. So thank you so
So
much.
everybody's
for
probably
joining
really
us.
bored with everything that we
I
talked
know.
about today.
Thank you for joining us on Denim and Pearls. And just realize that we will probably be in Dubai for our next show.
So we'll either be on or we won't. It depends on what
The signal
we
is
have
out there.
available to us. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're bringing the laptop. We will plan on doing a show out there.
So why are we going to Dubai? Go ahead, shameless plug.
We are attending because I am speaking for the Women's Economic Development Global Summit, and I'm releasing internationally my album in Dubai and the tallest building in the world at a big gala up there, and it's going to be outstandingly cool. And I'm hoping they're live streaming it, and if they are, then we'll put the link up on Denim and Pearls or both of our personal
Somewhere.
pages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye out. We'll be there November 3rd through the 9th.
Think of me when I'm having to wear a suit all day.
At least you're not wearing heels.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
There's always a positive side. So have a great week, everybody, and just know we will be thinking about you while we're in Dubai, and we'll do our best to share as much as we can from Dubai and go live while we're there. Until then, my name is Michelle Moras.
That reminds me, we got to call Verizon.
My name is Michelle Moras.
I'm Brian Swanson.
We're Denim and Pearls.
With Pearls of Wisdom.
No, we're business casual.
Business casual.
With pearls of wisdom from the porch. And see, this is how you know we're not scripted. Have a great week, everybody. Be the best version of you. And
we would make a really bad movie. We couldn't remember our lines.
But it would be real.
Peace.